So we're here at the CCA workbench,
Woo!
Dave,
That
and
was
Rigs and
fast.
Techniques.
Yes.
Yeah, man. But you know, this week we're talking about wading.
Yeah,
So
and,
why don't we get into it?
Well, and Texas has, like 400 miles of great wading, 8 bays, that are all great for wading. So, if you want to go out and catch a trout or a redfish or even little croakers and whatever,
croakers,
you want to
whiting.
go, if you want to go catch some fish, it's an easy way to do it. You don't have to have a boat. It's nice to have a boat sometimes. You can wade out of a boat, or you can just wade off from shore. But the good thing about it is it's very easily accessible to everybody, and at the same time, it's very, very effective, because when you're in the water like that, you're not spooking a lot of fish. You can, like you said earlier in the show, you can walk up on other fish very easily and get real close to them and make some really good sight casts. So it's a lot of fun to do. Not only is it very effective, but it's a lot of fun. So, the good thing about what we're talking about today is some of the places that you can go. We have a fella on our show who's written a book, Bing Grimes, and it's called The Saltwater Strategies: Where, When, and How to Wade Fish in Texas. So if you're looking for a good place to go and the right time to go, more importantly, this book will tell you. If it's the summertime or the wintertime or the fall or the spring, he tells you where to go. I mean, he's got the maps in there to put you in the right spot, and that is very, very important, because you'd rather be spending, an hour in a good spot than 10 hours in a crappy one. You gotta find the good spots. Now,
So what are you going to need? We're going to start off with a pair of good waders.
well, you're going to have, especially during the winter and the fall when the water gets cold, you're going to want waterproof waders that'll keep the water off you. Either, some like these Sims here, which are really nice. These kind of waders, if you spend the money at the outset, they'll last you 5-6 years sometimes if you get a really good pair like that. You can go the cheap route if you want to and go to a big dollar store and buy the little rubber plastic ones and put some like sweatpants on underneath of them, and they'll keep you warm, but they're only good for like 2 or 3 trips because they're very thin, plastic, and you don't want to be out there on that 4th or 5th trip and spring a leak, because it gets really cold sometimes.
So we're going to use, if you want to put, those are sock waders, so you
Correct.
need a pair of wading
Well, you're going to need
boots.
a pair of boots to put on top of them. These Soft Science wading boots here are really good for soft bottoms and stuff. It's got a zipper on the side, which you should always look for, because it's very easy. They're easy to get out of. We used to use the old dive booties that didn't have a zipper, and once you wade in them all day, they were really hard to get off of you. These have the zipper on the outside of the boot, which allows you to get out of them real easy, but it also has a clasp at the top. And this will keep you from leaving your boots when you find some really soft mud or something, if you don't have the really nice
Plus, you
lace-up
can pull
kind.
this tight, and it eliminates a lot of rocks and sand and stuff going in.
Correct. You don't want a bunch of stuff going in there, and that's what a lot of the guys use the
Great bottoms.
Yep, it won't slip, but you don't really have to worry about slipping in Texas too much. These are if you get high end. You can go in all kinds of water. You can even get on rocks and those kind of things there. Those are really nice. And they'll keep they won't rot. They're made out of stuff that won't rot, and they'll keep your feet warm as well. Yeah. And especially when you're wearing some of these waders. Now, a lot of some of the gear you're going to want to use, a lot of guys will carry a little wading belt, and this does several things. It allows you to carry some gear with you. One thing is, you don't want to use the box that usually comes with this, right, because even though they're trying to help you out, that's not a waterproof box. You want a box that you can close with clasps and stays waterproof, and that'll keep all your gear, because eventually it's going to get wet, and if you get salt water in all your stuff, it's going to be ruined.
Right.
And the good thing about these belts too, when you got a big belly like mine, you get a little fatter, that belt really helps your back, because when you're out there walking for 4 hours and casting a lot, that belt actually will help your back a little bit. You want to try to get a good size rod that'll make a long cast, 6.5 foot to 7.5 foot, depending on how heavy you want really, because if you're going to be casting a lot and you're not you don't do it a lot, you might want to go for a shorter rod to ease some of the fatigue.
Right.
If you're more concerned with long casts and wanting to reach way out and keep your bait in a certain depth, then you might want to go longer. You want to have
about 30 seconds.
You want to have a good pair of gloves on, you know, if you're going out there, so you don't want to get your hands looking like Rick Murphy here. You can have really nice, soft.
Hands?
You can have nice, soft, and supple hands.
Is there something wrong with these hands?
Yeah, exactly. And you also want to try to get some kind of release tool, something that you can lip the fish in. You know, when you're standing in the water with the fish, you want to be able to control it. Now, don't do that; that'll hurt. But you know, they make some of the plastic ones that won't rust or anything. This is a Boga Grip, the high end. It's made out of stainless steel. You have to take care of it a little bit, but it won't go away on you either. Also, long stringers, especially in the summertime, 30 feet or more, because if you got a bunch of trout on the other end and the bull shark comes, you want him to be a long way away when he makes his first
good
bite.
Advice. Good advice.
So,
Brie?
That was a lot of good advice.